Yo, what's up, internet? So today what I want to do is do a walkthrough of this recent mural that I painted in Jackson, Michigan during this festival called Brightwalls of another artist, Ledania from Colombia. I met her at the festival. She was an amazing person. I was talking to her. This is actually her mural that she painted at the festival, and I just really wanted to paint her. So they gave me a wall, and I didn't know what I wanted to paint on the wall before I came, but after meeting her I said I had to paint her, and the wall was super manageable to where I can change up the idea if I wanted to. So it's about 12 feet by 14 feet, and this wall was, you know, small enough to where I was able to use a ton of spray paint to sort of do the background. I didn't need a sprayer at all. And once I had the idea of painting Ledania, we did a quick photo shoot with my camera just in the sun to get that sort of high contrast look, and we landed on this one. She really liked it and I really liked it, so this was the one I was going to paint. So on the first day I was only concerned about, you know, just prepping the background. And my backgrounds, I usually try to have as much color as possible just to make sure I'm not sort of beholden to the image at all. There's like some randomness in the colors on the face and everything, so that's why I'm throwing in a ton of colors. And because most of the portrait is going to be in the middle, that's why I used a lot of red and yellows and pinks in the middle. But that was the entire day, basically just blasting the wall with a bunch of color, and then afterwards just going around seeing some of the other artists. The festival is called Brightwalls and it's in Jackson, Michigan, and they have a ton of artists, and the main thing is that the logistics of this festival is on point, so the artists really don't have to think about anything else other than painting. So everything is taken care of. This was the last year that they were going to have it, so I really wanted to come out, and that's why, you know, I'm basically, you know, in Jackson, Michigan. On the second day I was at the festival, I basically had a full day's work, so I got there at 7 a.m. and I sketched it out using the doodle grid method. The time-lapse camera kind of cut off at the end of the first day, so I didn't catch myself painting or sketching out with the doodle grid method. And really I'm just using the markings on the wall, so like the cinder block, sort of the in between the grout, and the sort of colors on the background. So that's what I'm using as a reference point when doing the doodle grid. And if you don't know what the doodle grid is, it's basically a way of scaling up your work, and I did a video on that. I'll make sure I have that sort of pop up so that you can go to that link and learn exactly how I scale up my work. But you know, using this method allows me to sort of keep the background really clean, so I don't have to sort of cover up any markings at all. I wanted to make sure that I used the background in the actual piece, so that was something that I really wanted to do. And basically it's just layering up. So like right now the background would be like the mid-tones, and all I'm doing is just carving out the different shadows in the nostrils and under the lips and the eyelids and the eyebrows, things like that, and then throwing on as much of the some of the flesh tones to sort of build that layer to sort of bring things forward and make things really pop. So for me, using the background is really important to have that a part of the portrait as much as possible. So like the hair right here, I basically sort of carved it out by sort of adding a lighter color in that background, so the background now becomes like the volume of that hair, and I'm not really sort of touching it because I want to sort of leave it alone. So just by sort of adding something to the background can sort of make something stand out, and that's how I basically did the hair. And at the top of the head, I rendered that hair a little bit more because there was just more highlights and actions going on with those different areas. But at the bottom, the hair that sort of flowed over the shoulders and everything basically is just the background. I didn't really touch that at all. So that's sort of something I'm doing in my pieces to sort of make it feel a little bit more random, like I'm not actually rendering everything, so that there's just more I guess spontaneousness. And this is also where I get to play around after sort of doing the main features, playing around with the details. And because she had like earrings and, you know, these piercings and stuff like that, it allowed me to sort of break out this stencil cap to sort of capture a lot of the details. So when you have sort of like this looseness in the portrait, and then you have this tightness when it comes to sort of like these detailed features, that's where, you know, the portrait can really pop, and you're able to have fun because you're getting the details with these different items, but the portrait is still loose and still feels fun. And you know, you're not sort of beholden to, you know, just that reference photo that you took. You're able to have a lot of fun with it. But a lot of the features that she had, like I said, the piercings and the tattoos and the makeup and stuff like that, really added a lot to the portrait and the mural, because there's just so much details that I can sort of pull from that while still keeping everything else really loose. So like, as you can see, like the area where it's like the top of the hair, the nose, the lips, the chin, the neck, that's really where I focused on, in the air, whereas everything to the left of that face is basically just the background. And it's the same on the right side. So the right of that right eye, a lot of that is basically just the background and just carving out that, you know, the hair, and then rendering the air. But I'm able to have that spontaneous sort of feel with the portrait, while still keeping it, you know, super realistic in a way. As long as you have the eyes, the nose, the lips, and, you know, the proportions somewhat right, a lot of times portraits will always just come together in the end. Most of the effort when doing work like this for me is always what color to use, because I use so many different colors that I can go wrong really fast. So this is something that you can't really plan out, so I don't know what colors I'm using, mainly because the background, I'm throwing colors everywhere. And you know, I do have somewhat of an idea of like, okay, using yellows and oranges and reds for midtones, but after that it's like I don't know what will fall where. So like this bluish teal color on the left or the right side of that neck, I like that. It just happened to be there in the background, so I just left it. Same with the right side of that shoulder, that's mostly background. So it's fun to do projects like this where I get to experiment and have fun and be really spontaneous when it comes to, you know, the subject matter that I'm going to paint. So hopefully you'll like the video, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I do videos like this. And I will see you guys next time. Peace and blessings, y'all. All right, bye.